Hi, yes, I'm fine. Actually, can I change that? Because I don't know. I can be up one moment, I can be down the next. Fine is probably one of those most overused words, not just in the mentally ill, but also in the general population. Fine basically means I'm okay, leave me alone. If someone says fine to you, just ask them again. Some of the key traits of manic depression. It's very difficult to answer that question because manic depression is quite often co-diagnosed with conditions such as OCD, PTSD, BPD. Sometimes those conditions are diagnosed first, sometimes bipolar is diagnosed first. However, manic depression, some of the key traits that are present, quite often you will find a high proportion of people with manic depression are obsessive and can be obsessive over some of the smallest things. In my recent episode, I got obsessed with a certain track, Jocelyn Brown, and that played over and over and over for a week, nearly 24/7. So that's just an example of one of the obsessive sides. One of the other key traits is in relation to emotions. Generally, people with bipolar have very, very strong emotions, and they have very intense feelings and all that sort of thing. That is not an uncommon trait at all. And other traits of manic depression, you will find a lot of people with the illness are ultra sensitive, hypersensitive, and they are sensitive to other people's feelings, which is where it becomes a problem in depression. But they quite often try and take the feelings of other people onto themselves as well. So they are sensitive to themselves, but they're also sensitive to other people to an extreme extent. Do I have a mask? Well, I think you could probably ask the population that question and get exactly the same answer, and that is obviously yes. However, with a mental illness, and this is any mental illness, it's not just manic depression, you will find that masking is quite often a daily occurrence. In addition, you aren't always wearing one mask. Your mask may be layered. You could have various layers to that mask which are built up to protect you. When do I mask? I can mask when I am low, so that people, basically so that it looks like I'm fine. I can mask when I'm very high, so that again I look fine. I can mask when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, when I'm in a comfortable situation that I don't want to be too comfortable. Masking is just part and parcel. I will be honest, I quite often don't know that I'm doing it because I've been doing this for 28 years plus, and I just naturally put on a front. When you sort of ask how you feel when you take that mask off, you take that mask off usually when you go home or when you climb in a car, or basically when you're on your own or you're with people that you are very, very comfortable with, such as family. When you take that mask off, you can feel lots of different emotions, often for the same reason. So with me, if I've worn a mask to mask depression, I can eventually take that mask off when I get home, and that can be very, very upsetting because I will think I've masked myself, I've made all these people, all these friends know that I am absolutely fine, and actually I need someone to know that I'm not fine. At the same time, you can be masking depression and you can get home and feel quite good about yourself because you think, I've been to this event, or I've had this meeting, or I've been to this party, and everyone there thinks that I'm absolutely fine, which I'm pleased about because I don't want people to think that I'm in state of depression. It's a very difficult one, and it's a very difficult question, because masking is not it's not an effort. It's probably more of an effort to not mask. Do I have any regrets that relate to the bipolar side? Yes, to misquote Blue Eyes, regrets I have a lot, and then again far too many to mention. It is the type of illness where you not only have actions that you regret deeply, but also, because of the high sensitive nature of someone with bipolar, that regret becomes even more sincere. Just to sort of think about the three regrets that I have. The first, nothing to do with other people really, well I suppose it is. One of my main regrets is to never have children, to never get married, and to never have major serious relationships long term. That was something that was suggested when I was the age of 17, that because I had a mental illness, it wouldn't really be appropriate, particularly if there is any chance of genetic passing down through the genes. When I look back and I think, because my genes, my bipolar genes, I don't know exactly where they came from, it is likely that that's been 3-4 generations back, and I would hope that 3-4 generations in the future there will be certainly better treatments and potential cures. Second regret is basically because of the nature of the disease, because when you have an episode you can spend a long time in recovery and a long time during the episode. I feel like I've lost a lot of people because of that. The third biggest regret I have is in relation to crises. When I have suffered crises, it has often led to hospitalisation or visits to A&E. I've obviously got a huge regret for those people who have taken me to A&E, family, friends, and who have stood by me at times when really it's a position that they shouldn't have been in. Do I feel that people with bipolar find relationships difficult? I would perhaps flip that on the side and say, do the partners in those relationships find it difficult? I think that that is a definite yes, because it is the partner that is effectively coping with the mood swings. It's the partner that is coping with the mania and the depressive nature, and it takes someone extremely understanding to actually be in a relationship with someone with bipolar. I do know that some people are in bipolar relationships where both parts of the partnership are manic depressive. Whether that is easier to comprehend or whether those relationships are easier to sustain, I really don't know. Moving on to the part of the question about me, I have never found relationships easy. I have bipolar. I do not feel that it is right for me to put that, for someone to have to put up with that bipolar. Whether that was my own decision, I don't know, but I have had people in the past turn around to me. I remember a very close friend back in 2009-10 who turned around and said, you can't have relationships because it's not fair on a partner to expect them to put up with it. Whether that was a fair thing to say, I don't know, but I've never had the opposite said. So I think that is fair. And at the end of the day, at 45, I think all those ships have sailed anyway.